And we are live. Hey guys, what's going on? James here. We're back this time for a review live stream. The first one of its kind, right? The first one of its kind. We're going to be trying out this review live stream format here for round one of the playoffs. This may be something that we continue to do here after games. We shall see. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-15 win today. Versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They have won in round number 1, and they're moving on to round number 2. Who do they play? We don't know yet. We don't know, but it's going to be exciting times. Steve, I thank you for letting me know about that in the chat about the description being off. I believe I fixed it now, which is good. Man, oh man, they're talking to Tom Brady here after the game. Not sure what he is saying because I still have to, I can't play the TV audio, but what a game, right? From this Buccaneers offense, from this Buccaneers defense. We're not going to be going super long today, probably about 45 minutes, maybe a half hour, we'll see. But man, oh man, Buccaneers got a very good win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, good game to the Eagles, right? They came out there, they really did put up a good, put up a fight there towards the end. But man, what can you say? This was a fantastic, complete game by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It really was, man. I mean, from top to bottom, offense, defense, heck, even special teams. This team played really well as a complete team. Fantastic momentum going into round number 2 versus whoever they play. There's a lot of teams that they could end up playing. We'll see who they end up playing here, after the next couple of games are done. The Cowboys are going to be playing the 49ers. And the Packers, we don't know who the Packers are playing either. But they'll be playing the winner of... Oh, shoot. What's the other NFC game that's going on? The Rams and the Cardinals? Isn't that the other game? Man, oh man. But what did you guys think? What did you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. But GG for them. Levante David coming back was huge, but hurry up offense definitely helped. Eagles fans thinking they would win, but GG for them. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, I'd say you consider this season a success. I mean, they showed clear improvement. They made the playoffs with a head coach in his first year. All in all, I mean, it was a fine overall season for the Eagles. Loved how he played through the injury situation. Feel like this team is mentally tough. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be sitting here waiting to hear. I'm definitely going to be sitting here waiting to hear what the injury status is for guys like Tristan Wirfs who sustained an injury, and then also Ryan Jensen, who also sustained an injury. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Great game all around. Yeah, I mean, all in all, we're gonna talk about the stats here in a moment. I just want some of the chat to fill up here. Besides MVP, good or bad list. Not necessarily gonna have a good or a bad list. We're just gonna kind of go down the stats and talk about everybody's performance. So let's talk about that in a moment. Hold on one second. One moment here, folks. Let's see. 49ers or Cowboys? I'm going to say which team's going to win. I'm going to say that I'll be bold. I'll say the 49ers get the upset. Bucs defense needs to temper their emotions till after the game. Yeah, the Carlton Davis taunting penalty I thought was not a smart move by him. I get it. You're up by, 30 at that point? Or heck, even like 20-something. But you can't get foolish penalties like that. You can't do it. It's just not a good look. So, thankfully, it didn't cost the Buccaneers too much. They were still able to get the win in not insanely dominant fashion, but, basically for the most part, they had the game in hand the entire time. So all in all, I mean, it was about as complete of a win as you could hope for. I mean, the Eagles got all of their points in the fourth quarter in, garbage time. So that was what it was, man. That was what it was. Let's start diving into some of these stats right now, huh? Tom Brady for this game, 29 of 37, 271 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, sacked 4 times. Now, for Tom Brady, he had a fantastic game, right? He really did. He was clutch. I thought, which you guys remember this, I talked about this in the preview video. I thought that the wind was going to play a huge factor on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they were going to do as a passing team. Thankfully, that was not the case. Thankfully, Tom Brady, he really had no problems passing the football. It was not a problem at all. He was able to sling the ball with relative ease. He was finding multiple receivers. We'll talk about those guys in a minute. But fantastic game for Tom Brady. He really did play a good game. All in all, I was very impressed with what he was able to do. Again, sacked 4 times. Part of that is because of the injuries to the offensive line, right? I mean, Tristan Wirfs went out with an injury. That was very, very unfortunate. Ryan Jensen was dealing with an injury. That was not good as well. And yeah, that wasn't a great situation to be in. It really wasn't. But all in all, hopefully the offensive line can get healthier here for the Buccaneers divisional round matchup. Hopefully guys like Leonard and Fournette will be back. That would be huge. Some other guys can get healthy as well. But, most of the pressure that the Eagles got in this game, they finished this game with 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 6 quarterback hits. A lot of that you can chalk up to injuries to the offensive line, I think, in my opinion. But again, despite the pressure, despite getting sacked 4 times, Brady looked fantastic. He really did. I mean, there's really not much more you could say, right? There really isn't. In terms of the rushing attack, shifting gears to that, Keyshawn Vaughn, 17 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. I thought Keyshawn Vaughn had a great game today. I really do. I thought that he ran the ball well. The average doesn't sound great, but overall, Vaughn, I thought, got the first downs that he needed to get. He ran hard when he needed to, and he got some gritty yards that all in all I thought was just overall really good play. That's kind of what I thought. So I thought that was fine. I thought that was great. Giovanni Bernard also 13 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown. Bernard looked good in this game. Both Vaughn and Bernard looked great as runners today, in my opinion. You also add in a Scotty Miller 9-yard run. They combined for 31 carries, 106 rushing yards, and 2 total rushing touchdowns. Them in the goal line, I thought was fantastic. They really were able to get a lot done. Bernard especially, I thought had probably his best game as a Buck. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I mean, I know he was out for a lot of, the season with certain types of nagging injuries and whatnot. But all in all, I thought he did a really, really good job. Let's see. Whitehead looked good again. Oh yeah, we'll talk about Whitehead here in a minute. He did really good. Let's go. What a win. Is Wirfs going to be okay? There's no update on Tristan Wirfs as far as I know right now. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if Twitter can provide any insight into this. After trying to return to the game, the Buccaneers advanced to the divisional round. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything on Tristan Wirfs. Maybe there will be some more clarity in the post-game press conferences. Perhaps. But all in all, there isn't really any updates here on Tristan Wirfs. But again, Giovanni Bernard, I thought, played a fantastic game. He was a big contributor to this win. In the receiving corps, Mike Evans, 117 receiving yards in this game, 10 targets, caught 9 of them. Would have caught the 10th one, but it was really good coverage by Darius Slay. and 1 touchdown as well for Mike Evans. I mean, I thought Evans did great today. I really do. I thought Evans had a fantastic game. He, I know some people were saying, Mike Evans needs to have a big playoff game as like a #1 wide receiver. And he had that today. He really did have that today. He made the tough catches that he needed to. He beat wide receivers a lot throughout the game. He was going up against guys like Darius Slay on some of the other cornerbacks that the Eagles have. Mike Evans was beating all of them in one-on-ones. It was great. It was a great thing to see. So I think Evans did great. I think he really did do a good job. Giovanni Bernard was the second best receiver in terms of yardage with 39 yards. 39 yards receiving, and that was the second best receiver. That's just how much the Tampa Bay Buccaneers spread around the ball today. Bernard finished with 7 targets, 5 catches for 39 yards. Again, Bernard had a really, really good game. He had, about, 80 scrimmage yards. Over 80 scrimmage yards and a rushing touchdown. Probably Bernard's best game as a Buck. If he came back in the game, you'd think it's not serious, but now you'll get correlations to AB with the media. Absolutely they will. But Bernard made some really tough catches when he needed to, had a couple of really nice screen plays go his way. His longest catch was a 22-yard reception. Rob Gronkowski, 6 targets on this game, 5 receptions, 31 yards, and the touchdown. We did see a playoff Gronk spike, which I think is great. Gronkowski did what he usually does. He wasn't as dominant as he had been in regular season games, but overall Gronkowski still made some really, really good plays. Tyler Johnson, 2 catches, 30 yards. Cam Brate, 3 catches, 29 yards. And then you had other guys, pitching in. Vaughn with 9 yards. Miller had an 8-yard reception. Perriman had a 5-yard reception. O.J. Howard had a 3-yard reception. Really, besides Mike Evans in this game, the wide receivers did not get a ton going. It was really just Mike Evans and then, a little bit of Tyler Johnson, a little bit of Brashad Perriman and Scotty Miller, but it was mainly the Mike Evans show in terms of the receiving core, right? That was kind of the main guy who was going in there and making the most of his receiving opportunities. And then you saw a little bit of Bernard, a little bit of Gronkowski kind of filling in those gaps, right? But ultimately it was Mike Evans, Giovanni Bernard, the tight ends. Those were the main receiving threats. Is the next game a home game? Yes, the next game will be a home game as well. I'm going to be on here for about 15 minutes more, folks, and then I'm going to go ahead and head off. But Mike, let's go to the defensive side of the football, right? Because my gosh, the defensive side was fantastic in this game. Mike Edwards, 9 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection. He also had an interception in this game as well. Thought he did a fantastic job. He saved a touchdown on the play where Mike Edwards had gotten the interception. Devonta Smith, I believe was who it was, had completely beaten Jamel Dean on his route. Jamel Dean had fallen down. Mike Edwards came over, got the interception, saved a touchdown, potentially being given up there, and got the interception. Mike Edwards had a fantastic day. All the Buccaneers safeties had a fantastic day. I mean, they really did. The entirety of the Buccaneers defense. I mean, it keeps on going, right? I know they gave up 15 points in the fourth quarter. At that point, the game was, for the most part, out of hand. Jamel Dean, 8 total tackles today, 1 pass deflection. Jordan Whitehead, fantastic day today, right? Fantastic day. 6 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Good game there by Jordan Whitehead. He was a force in the run game. Carlton Davis, 5 total tackles today, 1 pass deflection. Didn't give up a ton of passes thrown his way either. That was an important thing to note. He really didn't give up a ton of passes thrown his way. BA was most excited and surprised how the special teams played today. They played great. We'll talk about them in a moment too. Antoine Winfield Jr., this dude was all over the place. 5 total tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits. Devin White, 5 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection, 3 quarterback hits. I mean, the Buccaneers pass rush really did make life miserable for Jalen Hurts throughout the entirety of the game. Levante David only had 2 tackles returning from injury. Hey, Q, I am doing good from my injury, sir. Thank you for asking. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. Joe Tryon had a pass deflection. He also had a tackle for loss. The Buccaneers pass rush today. Raquinez Roches, 2 quarterback hits. Anthony Nelson, 2 quarterback hits. The pass rush today for the Bucs finished this game with 10 total quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. I mean, they were on fire today. They were absolutely on fire today. The pass rush was good. The secondary played good. I know people are going to say, well, they gave up so many yards and they gave up 15 points at the end of the game. In my opinion, it was kind of out of reach. Mike Edwards had an interception. Shaq Barrett had an interception returning from injury. He didn't really log too many more snaps besides that. He did have a pass deflection. All in all, it was a great game, right? Even the special teams. D. Delaney had a fantastic special teams tackle. Grant Stewart was great on special teams. You know, that everybody played good, man. From top to bottom. Offense, defense, special teams. This was a fantastic, complete game by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's no other way to put it. Couple of things that could have gone better, though. There was a couple of times, you know, Carlton Davis and Scotty Miller had a special teams play as well. Carlton Davis had a taunting penalty. I don't like that. I get it. You're up by a ton. You're happy. Don't take your helmet off. Don't celebrate, you know, like you just won the game. The game was not over yet at that point. Again, you can't afford to get penalties like that and potentially let teams get back into games. You just can't do it. Thankfully, nothing bad happened. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, kill Carlton Davis too much for a penalty like that, but it's not great to have penalties like that. Andrew Adams almost had a taunting penalty as well before Bruce Arians literally came on off the sideline and said, "Don't you dare do that." So, I mean, man, oh man. Also, Jalen Darden was still not great as a returner today. He had 4 punt returns for 13 yards, an average of 3 yards a return. You know, and then in terms of kickoff returns, he only had 1 for 16 yards. But, you know, again, that's something we've kind of seen. I don't know if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to experiment with other guys as a returner. Maybe Giovanni Bernard. Maybe Scotty Miller. I don't know. There's a couple of options there. But, you know, again, it just seems like things aren't working too well with Jalen Darden as a returner. He's still young. He's still in his rookie season. It is what it is. But, yeah, the returning could be a bit better. Somebody did point out Bradley Pinion. Gosh, 7 punts today. An average of 48.7 yards per punt. 3 inside the 20. Not a bad day for Bradley Pinion. Also, Ryan Suckup made all of his kicks today as well. He made his 1 field goal. He made his 4 extra points. You would not have thought that wind was not a factor in this game, really. I mean, I really saw it rarely be a problem. It rarely was a problem, man. It was very interesting. It was very interesting. I know they were so bored they started sleeping. Eagles scored 15 in just a few minutes. Bucs woke up and said, "Did we fall asleep? Just throw him a pillow. Game's almost over." Yeah. Oh my gosh, imagine Scotty returning kicks. James should be the special teams coach. I don't know about that, but I would say with just based off the results that you have from, you know, what you've seen from guys like, you know, Jalen Darden. Jaydon Mickens, unfortunately, isn't an option. If he was still on the practice squad, there's no doubt in my mind that they'd probably call him up to the active roster just because they haven't seen enough, I think, from Jalen Darden as a returner to really have it be a good thing, you know? Still give time to mature for Darden. Yeah, I mean, Darden's still young, right? He's in his rookie season. The guy was a 4th-round draft pick at the end of the day, so you should really only expect so much, but in my opinion, you know, they probably should have hung on to Jaydon Mickens. It's probably what they should have done. I mean, he was doing fine as a returner. They made a gamble on having, you know, they made a gamble on getting rid of Jaydon Mickens, having Jalen Darden be the starting returner. I don't think it's worked out for him as well as they thought it was going to work out for them. But it is what it is. We actually have the San Francisco 49ers Dallas Cowboys game on right now. I think if the Cowboys win, the Bucs play the winner or if the Dallas Cowboys win, they play the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys were what, the 3 seed? Were they the 3 seed or the 4 seed? I do not remember off the top of my head. I want to say if the Cowboys win, the Bucs play the Cowboys. And if the 49ers win, they would play the Bucs would play the winner of the Rams-Cardinals game. I think that's how it works. I think. So if the Cowboys win, the Bucs play the Cowboys, and then whoever would win the Rams-Cardinals game would go play the Packers. If the 49ers win, the Bucs play the winner of the Rams-Cardinals game. I think that is how that works. Let's see. The conditioning coaches need to do their job. Our players are getting injured quickly. That's an interesting conversation to have, right? Like, what do you think about, what the heck's going on here? For all of these injuries, my gosh, there have been so many injuries for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so far this year. In the secondary, now in the offensive line, in the skill position groups. I mean, just injuries galore, man. Injuries galore. I don't know if it is just specifically on the training staff, the conditioning staff. I don't know if it is specifically for them, but man, oh man, it's been a really tough thing. Hopefully, Wirfs, Jensen, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, hopefully all of those guys can be ready for, the Buccaneers divisional round matchup, whoever they play. But that is definitely, I think, a legitimate conversation to have. Mike Evans drops an F-bomb in a post-match interview. Lol, go Mike. Well, there you go. I don't know about that. Both Wirfs and Jensen were rolled on top of. That is true. They played 100% of the snaps through 17 games. That is also a true point as well. So maybe it's, maybe the question is in recovery time, right? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Jonas says Wirfs sprained an ankle. I gotcha. Man, oh man. Yeah, Tristan Wirfs sustained his injury. It looked like Ryan Jensen and Wirfs had both been rolled up after the play. So that was unfortunate, man. That was unfortunate. But again, the Buccaneers, Josh Wells came into the game. They had Aaron Stinney out there a lot. Thoughts on the Steelers-Chiefs tomorrow? I'm nervous as heck, as I kind of already know Kansas City's going to beat us. Well, Kansas City has a long journey to get to the Super Bowl, as does the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's an important thing to remember. Is Tom Brady injured? No, Tom Brady is not injured. He is in no way, shape, or form injured, as far as we know. San Francisco just scored, by the way, so they have currently got the lead over Dallas. It's an important thing to make a note of there. But yeah, folks, I mean, now that the Buccaneers have won, I mean, there really wasn't much you want to see improved on going into next week. I mean, maybe you look for, again, there isn't much. There isn't much. What would you see that you would want to be improved on? I mean, I think the offense played well. I think the defense played well overall. The only thing that you would want is just guys getting healthier, right? Fournette, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Wirfs, Ronald Jones, Jensen. I mean, all these guys, that's the only thing you really look out for, is for guys to get healthier and return for the divisional round playoffs healthy, That's what you would want. That's what you would want. And I really think that that's the only thing that you can say that you would say, oh man, the Bucs should have done this better, or the Bucs should have done that better. Besides that, I mean, this was a complete team win. On offense, on defense, on special teams, everything that they did went well, I think. Besides giving up 15 points in the fourth quarter when really it was kind of a non-factor at that point, That was the biggest thing. Better communication from Johnson and Brady. Seemed like they were out of sync early in the game. Yeah, there was a few drops. That's a good point there, Majal. There was a few drops. I know Perriman had some drops. Obviously, Tyler Johnson had a drop. I believe Giovanni Bernard had a drop as well. There were some drops there, right? There were. That's got to improve, and that would probably improve with guys getting healthier. Wind and probably not being as much of a factor. That's kind of one of the only other things you could say, like, oh, this needs to improve. Aside from that, it's a complete game, man. It was a complete game. But now moving forward, again, we're going to have to pay attention to see what the heck happens here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into their divisional round matchup. They're going to be playing either, the Dallas Cowboys here or the winner of the Rams Cardinals game. So pay attention to that. We'll see what happens there. But, folks, I'm probably going to end off this live stream here. I'm going to cut it a little bit short because I have not eaten all day and I do want to get some food. I think I'm going to do both. I think I'm also going to be coming out with a review video a little bit after. So, pay attention to that. And I should have a review video out here towards the end of the night as well. So, pay attention to that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Before you leave, go check out the link I put in the chat. That'll actually take you to the Cannon Fire podcast and their post-game that they are doing. Definitely go check them out. Let's get everybody that is watching this review live stream over to the Cannon Fire podcast. I would appreciate that. All 140 people, man. All go over there. All let them know that I sent you. I would appreciate that. Seriously, let's get all 140 of us over there to the Cannon Fire podcast, man. Let's do it together. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end off this live stream. Thank you so much for watching this quick review live stream. I'll also have a review video out here later on in the evening as well, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Hope y'all enjoyed. I will see you guys in a review video later tonight. But until the next video or the next live stream, guys, Buccaneers win. Buccaneers move on to the divisional round of the playoffs. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs. See you guys soon.